They had run from 8 foster homes, but never from each other. They had called each other brother and sister, because the world didn't give them the language for anything deeper, because back then, love was something they watched happen to other people, never something they believed belonged to them. But love waited. It waited in whispered phone calls during college nights, in the way Steve's voice softened only when Julia was on the line. It waited in the silence after every goodbye, and the ache that lingered until the next hello. And even when she left, when Julia disappeared into the corners of the world, to find peace from the confusion in her heart, love still waited. Steve had crumbled. He had everything but her, and suddenly everything meant nothing. His empire stood tall, but he did not. Rooms echoed with silence. Photographs mocked him from their frames. And every night he sat in the dark, a powerful man brought to his knees by the absence of the only person who truly knew him. He mourned her like death, but she wasn't gone. She was just hiding from him, from herself, from a love that terrified them both. And when she returned, she didn't need words. She simply walked back into his arms like she had never left, because the truth is she never really had. That day, Steve didn't propose with a diamond or a perfect speech. He simply looked at her, tears in his eyes, and said, "I don't want to be your brother anymore. I want to be your forever." And she whispered the only word he needed to hear, yes. The twins, Leo and Lena, run through the halls like joy in motion. They don't know the pain their parents endured. They just know love. They just know home. And sometimes late at night, Steve still wakes up in disbelief, with Julia curled into his side, her hand resting over his heart. And he thinks about the boy who slept on cold floors, who cried in silence, who called a stranger sister, because it was the safest word he knew. They had been each other's escape, each other's comfort, and somehow against every odd each other's forever. "I still can't believe you came back to me," Steve whispered later that night as they sat by the fireplace, their hands locked, as if the world might still try to pull them apart. Julia smiled. "I didn't come back," she said softly. "I just finally stopped running." And in that small moment, with firelight dancing against the wall, with every ghost of the past finally laid to rest, they both knew love had always been there, hiding in plain sight, waiting, growing. They had called it survival. They had called it loyalty. But now they could finally call it what it had always been. Home, because love like theirs isn't loud. It's quiet. It's sacred. It's the kind of love that waits, that survives, that finally calls you home.